Clive Barker Podcast audio commentaries.
Thanks to your generous donations to our Kickstarter funding campaign, Clive Barker Podcast presents Fundraising Inferno 5. This is the audio commentary for the movie Sleepwalkers, and if anybody's wondering why why we're doing this one, Clive Barker does have a brief appearance in it, and he has kind of a working relationship with the director Mick Garris. So
That's true.
There are some connections. It's not as straightforward as most of the other movies we've done, but.
And Clive Barker appears in the movie. He does a cameo.
Right.
A bunch of people do cameos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. And we have Toby Hooper and Joe Dante, John Landis. Yeah. All those guys make an appearance in this movie. So it's a fun movie from 1992 with a tagline that said, "They feast on your fear and it's dinner time."
Which is not true, but
okay. You don't get taglines like that anymore. So
yeah.
They don't really come up with the entertaining taglines. I miss taglines like that.
We don't get movies like this anymore.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah,
but,
just different stories and things, original kind of ideas.
Yeah, something with this large of a budget and something that was actually released theatrically.
Yeah,
that would never get made now.
No, it's too chancy.
Yeah.
So who wants to count down on this one?
I guess I can do that. So, as usual, if this is your first commentary, we just sync up to the countdown, go right to where the movie starts. In this case, it's going to be the Columbia Pictures logo, and then pause it, and then we're going to do the countdown, and you press play and watch the movie with us, and we'll do the running commentary. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, play.
Okay. That's looking pretty old and grainy, that Columbia Pictures.
Yeah.
I love it. I've always loved that, though.
Yeah.
Do they still have it? Do they still use it? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, right. It's not going to be super fancy like the Lionsgate. Okay, so this thing, come on.
The Chile Coathe Encyclopedia of Arcane Knowledge.
Yeah. And
that's cool.
Vulnerable to the deadly scratch of a cat. So if humans get scratched by an orangutan, do we die? I think I'm susceptible to the deadly scratch of a chimpanzee.
Yeah. They'll take your face off, man.
Yeah.
Well, we do have cat scratch fever, popularized by Ted Nugent, I guess, but that is a real thing. If you watch Jackson Galaxy or stuff about cats, you'll find out that a cat's nails are kind of dirty, and if they scratch you, sometimes they can actually give you a big infection.
Yeah.
So this is in is this Florida?
No, this is California.
Oh, okay.
Bodega Bay, California.
Yeah, I used to go there a lot when I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
Known for tourism, with a very small population of a little over 1,000 people.
Oh,
Luke Skywalker.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the Last Jedi.
Yeah. I like how he has his hair all slicked back.
Yeah. And a big mustache.
The big glasses.
Yeah.
So the actual filming locations for this included Burbank, Santa Monica, and Van Nuys, California. And, of course, the Warner Brothers backlot.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. When I was watching this, I didn't even realize that it was supposed to take place in Indiana, because living in California my whole life, just seeing the movie, I just automatically assumed, okay, this is all just California.
Right.
I didn't even realize it was supposed to be Indiana.
There's a blog called Then and Now Filming Locations. It includes a lot of locations that appear in this film, like the movie theater, the high school. The Robertson House was actually located in the Warner Brothers backlot. We'll add a link to the show notes.
It's the same one. It's the same neighborhood they used in The Burbs.
Oh, his name is Officer Jenkins.
What is that a reference to?
I don't know. It just said that on his name
Okay.
tag.
There you
Mark
go.
Oh,
Hamill,
there you go.
Yeah.
Should have said Officer Porkins or something like that.
Yeah.
So I just want to mention that card at the beginning. It's oh, here we go. Hang on. Just like Blade Runner and other cheesier movies, I like it when the movie starts with something to read.
Yeah.
In this case, it was a little fake encyclopedia entry.
Yeah.
for the-
From
I-
the dawn
I
of
actually-
time we came, moving silently down through the centuries.
Yeah, at least it's not like other movies where it
Yeah.
tells you it's the year 1999, and
Yeah.
after the nuclear war, mankind has reverted to a medieval level society with guns.
Yeah.
Did you
Or
see
I
that
think even
corpse?
Terminator had that too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Did you see that corpse screamed when it came out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I put that in my notes too. It's like, come on. There was a moment like that with that spring-loaded corpse in Hellraiser, but it didn't scream. It was just like a sting from the soundtrack.
That right.
Yeah.
A stinger.
When it drops the worms on top of Ashley Lawrence.
Yes, I like this. I one really cool thing about this movie is that I love the soundtrack and these opening titles are cool.
Yeah.
I missed on a note that I wanted to say that extra, the talking to Mark Hamill, the housewife, it was Rusty Schwimmer. She plays Joey B from Joey B's Diner in Jason Goes to Hell. I love that character.
Oh, and she was in also in Candyman. She was the one that was doing the strip down of Helen's there.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, that's true. See pictures of Bast. I saw actual Egyptian statues of the cat goddess when I visited the Louvre in 2012. Yeah, cool.
I think that it seems to me that somehow some of this must have changed in the editing, because what I thought probably what they originally had maybe intended was to have their whole story explained when he was reading his short story to the class.
Mm-hmm.
And then they probably realized that was boring, and it's like, okay, well, we'll explain some of it with the opening credits, and we'll explain the rest of it, with
I see.
with a title card.
Mm-hmm. And here we have a foreshadowing engraving of what's going to happen at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Complete with the stereotypical, let's burn the edges of the paper so it looks old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little tea stain on it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yep. So Stephen King's Sleepwalkers was King's first original screenplay. It was written expressly for the screen. Or like the poster said, for the scream.
Oh my God.
There's a teaser poster said, Stephen King's first movie written directly for the scream.
They're also vulnerable to the deadly practice of yard work.
There you go.
There's like some kind of a huge tree branch that's just sitting on the roof there too.
So here's
Love this song. It's called Sleepwalk by
Yeah.
whoever it was.
Santo and Johnny.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite pieces of music. It's kind
It's got
of
a little
creepy
bit
and
of,
weird, strange.
It's also
Hawaiian guitar.
weird. Why are they called Sleepwalkers? I mean,
Yeah, you're right. They never really get to it, do they?
Yeah,
They
I
never
didn't
really
really get that
explain it.
either.
It's like King wrote this expecting there to be a sequel or something.
yeah.
Well, why are those creatures that King wrote called the Tommy Knockers? I mean, what sort of name is that?
That's fair. Yeah.
They're aliens. Why are they called Tommy Knockers?
yeah.
So kind of emo, a little surfer guy doing some self-cutting for a tea for Tanya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to have.
Brian Cross, is that his name?
Yes.
I think it's weird to think that, but probably the worst, the weakest thing about this movie is the writing, and even though it's Stephen King, it's really strange.
Yeah, as
There
much
was
as I
some-
love Stephen King, I mean, like some of his stories are pretty can be weak. He's he can have his ups and downs, and I think Sleepwalkers is somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Here comes a kitty cat. Do you have cats? I have 2 cats.
I have 2 cats as well.
I've got 8.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Holy, wow.
You must have a sleepwalker in your neighborhood, Rob.
Yeah, we took in one cat named. We took her in. She was like a wild cat, and she ended up having kittens, like three litters of kittens.
Oh,
So
wow.
we just kept her babies.
Yeah. And you used to have Bosco, right, Ryan? He he showed up in one of our Kickstarter videos.
Yeah, we had 2 cats, but they died a couple of years ago. They were both
That is too bad.
really old.
That is too bad. So Alice Krige was the board queen in that Star Trek. What was the name? It wasn't Nemesis. No, it wasn't Nemesis. It was the one with the board. First Contact. Yes, thank you, Rob.
She was also in this movie called Ghost Story, which is something the director Mick Garris worked on as like a publicist, and that's why he wanted her to be in this.
Oh, there you go.
What about this actor, the
Ryan Cross?
Yeah, has he been in anything else?
Oh yeah,
a lot of kind of B movie. He actually was starred in Gary J. Tunnicliffe's directorial one of his films, Within the Rock.
Oh, okay. So am I the only one who thinks that long hair, there's a few inches of room between being hot and crazy looking?
Yeah.
It's like if your hair is down to a certain length, that's kind of hot. But if it goes down a little further, it starts becoming like crazy cat lady in this case. It's like...
It's a fine line.
Crazy
it's a fine line.
lady.
Yeah. Or
that's very true in a literal sense here.
Or young third wife of 6 wives or something like that.
So this whole mother-son dynamic was really reminding me of course, Psycho and Norman Bates and whatnot.
Right.
Knowing that Mick Garris directed Psycho 4, he actually,
that's right.
he actually said that Psycho 4 was one of the reasons why they decided to hire him onto this, was because of the whole mother-son dynamic here.
Oh.
Originally it was another director.
Yes. He wanted to do a cat person world instead of just having it be, this small group of people.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was Stephen King.
Stephen King didn't like that.
Yeah.
Well, actually, to me, when this came out, it felt like this is Stephen King's answer to Nightbreed, and it was way inferior, and I just hated it.
I got that same vibe watching it too. There's even a few like crescendos in the music of the score that remind me of Danny Elfman's score for Nightbreed as well. So definitely get that vibe.
Yeah.
And like you can even say when he's reading the story to his class, and I forget the main actress's name, but when she starts feeling almost sympathy for him, it's almost
Tanya.
that.
Yeah,
it's almost that.
Machinamik.
Is that how you pronounce her name?
Yeah, her breakout role was in Twin Peaks, of course.
Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, as Shelley, and she did this movie that came out. When was that? Let's see. Yeah, so this movie premiered on April 10. By August of '92, audiences were seeing her back in Fire Walk with Me. So.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Where are you going?
Oh no, I was just saying like it's almost like the sympathy for the monster dynamic that's also in Nightbreed.
Oh yeah.
Except it's really bizarre because they go back and forth between making them horrible and unsympathetic to like, oh, they're the last of their kind, and by the end they're just full on monstrous, and you're not. Well, not even by the end. Like when he reveals himself to her in the cemetery, which you're gonna get to, it's like Jesus Christ. He's like, oh, just think of yourself as lunch.
Which you can also say is kind of reminiscent of Nightbreed as well, that whole cemetery scene.
Right. Yeah, but he's like, he's telling his mom, does it have to be her? And, like he cares for her. And you think there's going to be sort of a Romeo and Juliet sort of a thing with it. And then he's like, oh, just think of yourself as lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, good. It's really crazy. I mean, just...
Yeah.
Hey, guys, do you remember Walkmans?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
This is a great... Yeah,
I
this is a
sold
great
mine
scene.
for like $300 recently on eBay.
Wow.
'cause-
Dang.
Yeah, because
Um,
I really
Yeah.
wish I could get this excited about cleaning.
yeah, Walkmans are like vintage. Apparently,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've got a
So-
couple somewhere.
So this movie theater had in the marquee, it said "They Bite," also "Scream Dreams."
Yeah.
I looked it up. Those movies are not real.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just
So those are
made up,
just
yeah.
fake titles.
Yeah,
I
it
missed
seemed
$5
like
movie screenings though.
They missed an opportunity to do something funny with that. I thought
Yeah.
because I paused. It was only for half a second that it's on there, and I paused to figure out what it was, and then I wrote it down on my notes. But then it's like
Mhm.
it's not funny. It's not really much of anything.
Do you remember when movie theaters had ushers with little flashlights?
Yeah, right.
I missed
Yeah.
that. I missed that.
I
So
well,
this-
and I
this
miss
dance scene-
these little
Hmm.
independent theaters. Like obviously this is a
Yeah.
small, like 2-screen or 1-screen one.
Yeah.
I used to work at a theater like this in Brevard, North Carolina. It's called the Co-ed. Very small like this. I could only see this, and we were a 2-theater screen,
Cool.
and our concession stand was like this really tight space like this.
Yeah.
But actually, Stephen King, this is one of the inspirations for the story. Was like his son, his older son, was fat. I guess he must have had some kind of attraction to the popcorn girl at the local cinemas.
Oh,
That's where he got kind of the inspiration for the story.
Oh wow. So this dance scene was actually tweeted out by Mitch and Amik as Blumhouse made a video calling this one one of the top 10 dance scenes on films, on horror films. So,
her dancing around in the hallway there with the
Yeah.
Walkman.
it's a pretty cute dance
Yeah.
sequence, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's probably one of the best actors in this movie, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
She was 21 years old here, still playing high school girls.
I think
Do you think she looks teenage?
Yeah, she has a very young look to her. That
I think it's weird because you get sort of this is like she's like a movie teenager. At this time, everybody that was a teenager in movies was like in their 20s or 30s.
Yeah. But she exudes that innocence that is necessary for the role.
Yeah. And in the IMDb trivia, they said that her parents in this movie were married in real life.
Yeah, didn't they meet on a Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I think, or
Yeah.
something like that?
that one too.
And I think that theater was actually called the Darko Theater.
Oh,
So, yeah.
it's
Or
weird.
maybe this theater appeared in Donnie Darko, though I'm not sure. I saw a comment somewhere that mentioned that.
He offered to give her a ride home, but he walked.
I'm sorry, I figured it out. The theater where Tanya Robertson works at was at 1328 Montana Avenue in Santa Monica, California. It's called
Okay.
the Aero Theater.
You're
There you
right.
go.
He did walk. Good catch, Ryan, on that.
And she calls the police to come get a stray cat.
Yeah.
They don't have animal control, I guess.
This guy saying, "Yeah, I'm allergic too. I'm allergic to the IRS." Oh, jeez. So was that 6 p.m. when she left the theater, or 6 a.m.? And what movie theater goes all night like that? Is that an American thing?
Or maybe it's really far from his house, and he just. Oh, I thought it said midnight. Maybe.
Yeah, I
Is
think
it
it said
midnight?
midnight.
Okay. This is where we start realizing more of the dynamic between the mother and son here.
Yeah.
Well, they were already tongue kissing and went upstairs.
Oh yeah, that's true. I missed that part.
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, I guess it might be because they secretly know that they're the last ones. I have no idea.
Yeah, I think it's trying to keep the sleepwalker lineage alive, is that they have to become incestuous. And
Well, when you think about it, some cats will do that if they don't have they don't really care about family relationships.
Yeah,
And also
yeah.
the pharaohs did it, right? The pharaohs, they would marry brother and sister together
Yeah.
to keep their bloodline pure.
Yeah.
But it just resulted in more inbreeding.
Yeah. Blue bloods.
Hmm.
There's a lot of time dedicated to their weird incestuous relationship in this movie.
Yeah, a lot of time.
So it's like 75% you're supposed to hate these characters, and 25% you're supposed to feel sorry for them.
So here's Charles hiding in plain sight, I guess,
Yeah.
telling the story of the Sleepwalkers in creative writing class. Rob, you took a class like this, right?
Oh yeah. Had a nicer teacher though.
Yeah. Well, and this classroom is weird. Right, they're in the school library. Why are they having their class in the library?
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. It looks like a classroom to me, but
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe it is a classroom. It's got a lectern, but there's books like rows of books around it.
yeah, I see what you mean. It's like a Hollywood classroom, right?
Yeah.
I'm surprised they don't have a guinea pig in a cage in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So this is the late Glenn Shadix as Mr.
Yes.
Fallows. Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid cast in this movie, and Shadix did a lot of voice work in a lot of movies and TV.
That
Yeah.
guy was actually a pretty good artist.
Uh-huh. Yeah, for like a note in class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extreme close up. Yep.
I think that it's a little here up in a second when he corrects him and says actually a box has 6 sides.
Mhm.
He gets really mad. Like
He does.
it's like completely out of proportion to like anybody else would have been gone like, oh yeah, duh, or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I think
he gets really mad to the point where he's investigating him.
Yeah.
You
I
called
think
me out
that's-
about a box.
Yeah, I guess that's the setup for his wanting revenge on him.
Yeah, because he corrected him about
Yeah.
the box.
He is a little tropey as a kind of minor villain in this.
Yeah.
By the way, there's a Sleepwalkers page in the website TV Tropes, which will add a link to the show notes. Anyway, still a better story than Twilight, I guess.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I'm still fuming about that box comment. I'm gonna get him.
Yeah.
Look at him.
He's
so
like
mad.
brooding over it.
Yeah.
Another thing is he's a weird pedo guy.
Yeah, that is really weird. It comes out of nowhere.
this guy being taken by the ear.
Yeah.
Rob, you're coming in a little low, though. Am I the only one who listens to
no.
Rob really, really low?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Okay.
Maybe your microphone's too far away.
And this movie does not pass the Bechdel test because they're talking about a boy.
Oh. Yeah.
Everything. Damn, girl.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
So they call Homeland the Homeland Cemetery, which we'll find out in a bit.
Yeah.
Did your school have all those like hand printed signs everywhere saying meeting at lunch?
No.
Those are enormous signs.
Yeah.
Probably. Let me see if I can find out what high school this was. I think the locations website had it. I think this might be Van Nuys. Is that how you pronounce it, Van Nuys?
Or Nyes, I think. I don't know.
Truthfully, I don't know, and I should know.
There you go. This is the Alexander Hamilton High School at 6535 Cedros Avenue in Van Nuys, California.
Okay.
That's the Van Nuys High School. I think it was called Alexander Hamilton High School in the movie.
Hmm.
There you go. I really like the soundtrack in this movie as well.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
It's a little retro in a way, but
I'll
Pretty
pick
good.
it up.
Yeah, that makes it fun though, I think.
yeah. And here's this cool car. It is a
1978.
1978.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pontiac Firebird Trans Am.
And he gets in it Dukes of Hazzard style.
Yeah.
So this car was actually the same exact make, model, and year that was featured in last year's It.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Did
see.
Did you get that
So-
information from Bloody Disgusting?
Yeah. I
I
saw
got
that in
some
Bloody
of the same
Disgusting. That's Henry Bauer's car
Yeah.
that he drives.
I didn't
Wasn't-
know that until I saw that article.
Ah, sorry, I dropped my microphone. That
Happens.
must have been really loud.
Wasn't Kit a Pontiac Trans Am? Pontiac Firebird? The Kit from Knight
Oh,
Rider?
I thought it was a
Ah.
Corvette. Or I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know.
Okay. So that's cool. Gravestone rubbings. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. So this is the Robertson house, of course, that was in the Warner Brothers lot. There you go. Also used in the television series The Waltons, I think.
Yes.
Hiding dirty laundry in the bedroom. We've all been there.
Yeah, I just like how all of her underwear are just like strewed throughout the bedroom, just in random places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's like,
I mean, I can get messy at times, but I don't think I've ever.
I don't leave
You
my
know.
boxers out.
Yeah, just on like random dressers and just
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just movie stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, her wallpaper is so old timey. I think even for back then.
mhm. Here's Charles Brady working his sleepwalking charm.
And it's
Yeah.
also weird that she has a banister like from a stairwell right in the inside of the doorway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be inside her bedroom, and that's weird. Is that like part of her bed or something? That could be
I
it.
don't know.
But it's strange. Yeah, good point. So I love the fashion here. Am I crazy, or like the 90s were kind of obsessed with the 50s, especially in American movies a little bit? There was this kind of aesthetic that was kind of drinking from the 50s a lot.
Right.
and-
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's a shortcut to say like, oh, they're a clean cut family if everything's like Norman Rockwell esque.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And even musical references and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because she was listening to Motown's "Do You Love Me."
Love Me. That's from what years? That's from the 50s, right?
That is, I think so. Yeah. The Contours. "Do You Love Me" from 1962.
Oh yeah.
This is totally a test. She's like testing him, like, "Oh,
Yeah.
are you just BSing me, or do you really do it? Let me ask
Yeah.
you a few questions."
Right, because he wasn't supposed to say that they were going to Homeland, and he didn't know.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Here's the usual. What is your parent do? He's dead.
Yeah.
That'll shut her up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's got her mother's looks. Her mother's dead.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
He totally has that look of captain of the football team, except
Yeah. Except he's an outsider.
yeah, he's an
I
outsider.
think that he's probably the weakest actor in this movie, even though he's the lead.
He was given a lot of one-liners that were not very good, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's hard to tell if it's probably just the writing.
I think
Hey.
he's strong in the first half, but when he goes into complete like Looney Tune mode,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super
that's when it
cheese.
kinda hits.
You're quiet again, Rob.
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm right on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it could be Skype. This is crazy. I mean, this is where the movie gets nuts, right? I mean, this teacher's gonna chase him down and honk
little
at him
bit,
and
yeah.
pull him
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he just wait till the next day in class and say, "Can I talk to you after class?"
Well, yeah, that's true. That could have happened too. I mean, there's really no point to this except it's gonna seg into a staple of action, which is a police car chase.
Yeah.
You got to have that.
Well, and the police car chase doesn't make any sense either. I mean, he just murdered somebody, and he's worried about them being found out, so he's gonna speed. I don't know. And he's like excited. He's happy about it, and he thinks it's funny, that the cop is chasing him.
Yeah, you'd think for somebody that's trying to blend in to, a new town and not get found out about, being a cat person, that he would, not do half the things that he does in the movie. But
yeah, there's a lot of just mixed up sort of stuff that should have been fixed in the writing.
This makes me wonder, though, if when he says your transcripts are fakes and you're not from, there's no Paradise Falls in Ohio. I mean, you think that if they've been doing this for a long time, that they would have been able to cover their tracks a little better instead of making up an entirely fictional city that he came from. But it also makes me wonder if he's really as young as he looks, or how old are these sleepwalkers?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a fair point.
She says like these have been in our family for a long time, and it's sort of
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. It sort of implies that they're old, but we don't really know. and that he said he picked up about grave rubbings a long time ago.
I love this sequence. I just love how over the top it is. It's amazing. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
And this movie, apparently from, if you listen to this YouTube series called Trailers from Hell, I think in it, there's an episode about Sleepwalkers, and Mick Garris mentions that this movie was the second time morphing was used.
Yeah,
and this came out before Terminator 2.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's the second time that CGI morphing was ever shown on film.
I used to have a morphing program on my Amiga, or it was just a morph that somebody did between like a cat face and a person's face.
I think I had that too. It was from a magazine.
It was so huge that I had to put it on I had to get a hard drive for it.
Wow.
So I think it's here that the music almost reminds me of Nightbreed, and then like the flying camera shots through the forest are like super Evil Dead throwbacks.
Yeah, why is the camera spinning around and he looks like he's just pretending to bite him, and I don't know.
Well,
like, Rawhead Rex style.
Live source out?
Say again, Rob?
Is he sucking live source out of him?
No, it looks
I think
like
he's just ripping his throat.
Yeah. Right, because he it seems like only virginal women,
actually get their life.
Which makes you wonder at some point, why doesn't his mother find a virgin of her own, right?
Yeah, I had that in my notes too. I'm like, why does she have to wait around for him? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
I mean,
for like
is it really important to seduce them first?
Well, I think, and this is something that I've noticed as a trope from this is basically a vampire film, except it's cats. But in vampire stories, sometimes there's this trope where there's the fragile female vampire that can't feed on her own, and then the male vampire has to go out and get blood, and then she drinks blood from his arm or something like that. Yeah. So it's kind of like that.
So there's some scenes in here where he's like squirreling around and he flips the car around and stuff, and that cat would be flying all over the car.
Yeah.
If you've ever driven your car with a cat inside, you know that's a really bad idea.
Yeah.
It's a terrible trope that that it's so ham-fisted that he's got a cat that he drives around with him.
Say again, Rob. Rob, you said something?
I was saying like that's I can't remember what I said.
Okay.
Like this scene, like when I first saw it, like you kind of have to suspend disbelief just because. I mean, personally, I love it just because it's so bonkers.
Yes.
Being a cat lover, I'm just like, okay, I'll go along for this ride.
I like that squirrel that ran out to the road and then turned around and went back.
Oh, there he is. I saw it. Well, I guess, cops usually have canine units, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in this case, because the cats are a big part of the story, of course, he's got to have a cat, which is a little contrived.
Yes.
But, I could deal with it, I guess.
Just like the shot of like the cat sitting in the passenger seat, and then the camera panning past the shotgun to the cop wearing like the yellow like sunglasses and whatnot. I don't know. I just love it. I think it's hilarious.
I like
Yeah.
that now that it's in high definition, we can read his tag. It says Clovis the Attack Cat.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
So apparently, they originally were using 8 cats to play Clovis.
Wow.
Like each cat had its own individual, unique thing that it could perform.
Oh,
But,
wow.
but at the end of the day, I guess only one cat was the best, so only one cat actually makes it into the film.
Clovis joins the big pantheon of famous cats from movies and TV, like Lucky from Alf and Stimpy from Ren and Stimpy. Am I the only one disturbed by the fact that on radio they say bye instead of over every time they finish like a message?
I didn't notice that. That is kind of nuts, though. Why would they do
Get me
that?
some backup. Bye. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yes. Right, and he's using the car that he keeps in the driveway. And so they're going to have to, disguise it from now on because he's being a jerk.
Yeah. Again, he's not blending in well at all.
Okay, so what happened right here? Because his wrist gets slashed by the cat somehow, right? But the cat doesn't jump out of the car.
His wrist didn't get slashed. His wrist got hurt when the teacher slammed the door into his hand.
Yeah.
But okay. Well, she's stitching it up and stuff.
I always laugh at that shot. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I like Clovis.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my favorite. No, that's the hero of the movie.
He is.
If
He
you think
killed.
about it.
He
Yeah.
orchestrates the death of both of these characters.
So this is a cool scene, but this is one of those things where these creatures have powers that happen when they need them, when basically they
Yes.
need them, and they can do pretty much whatever's necessary for the story.
Like Mr.
So here is
Spock
like
or Superman.
Yeah. So here
Yeah.
he's going to turn the car invisible, and then he's going to turn it into a 1965 Ford Mustang,
Yeah.
I love
which
to
is
have
well
that
done. I
power.
mean, great optical effect here.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Rob.
I was just saying, I'd love to have that power to turn my car into a Mustang or just
Yeah.
a big car.
It's like Predator technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the cop here is an actor called Dan Martin. He's now an actor and producer, and he's been on a Fresh Off the Boat TV show.
Oh.
So he's still very active.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, he's looking at him still. That's right. Cats apparently seeing all red.
Yeah.
They are colorblind, though, right? They have like red, blue color blindness, or green, blue.
I think so.
I think so.
How
Yeah,
do,
I've
how
read
do
some.
people figure that out?
I guess they look at the sort of photoreceptors that are in the eye of the cat. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I didn't get this part in that he's yelling at the cat, but so does the dimming effect that they can create also mask their voice?
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, excellent point. Yeah.
Because later on when the mother uses the dimming and she's leaving the house, you can like hear her footsteps. So
And when she's dimming both of them when the cops are coming, she says, "I need you to be quiet."
yeah.
Right. And here, of course, we listen to the engine turn on. So
Yeah.
that is a sweet ride. That is a
Yeah.
sweet looking ride. Holy crap.
Now he's gonna drive at a normal speed.
Yeah. It's
Not
really-
after he killed somebody.
Yeah.
It's like he couldn't transform it into something a little bit less more inconspicuous though.
Yeah.
It's still
Hey,
You know-
turn it into like some crappy car or something.
yeah, that's not
like a
convert-
Pinto,
Like a
or-
Honda.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a Pinto. I would love to. Great.
Yeah, it's also this is also kind of a trope that he describes some supernatural thing and nobody believes him. I
Yeah.
think in real life he would just not have said anything,
Yeah, right. I mean, you just chalk it up to maybe I was seeing things or something.
Or he'd just say I didn't get a good look at him.
Shut your pie hole.
Yeah.
Shut your pop.
I think this actor was born in Alabama. Looking at his IMDb page.
Yeah, and I think the female deputy is Cynthia Garris, Mick Garris's wife.
Oh wow!
believe.
Yes, right. I was
Yes,
looking for
right.
her too, and I was wondering if that might be her. There's a scene later where he tells her to answer the phone.
Yeah.
He actually plays in the suit later on when the mother turns into the sleepwalker form.
Mm-hmm. There's Clovis. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna sit here next to this light.
Yeah.
This
Yeah, I love how you'd never see it until the end of the scenes of just the cat's just chilling in certain spots.
Yeah.
As we
Yeah,
record
that
this, I
is
have the
her.
cat on my desk.
That is
so
definitely her. That's Cynthia Garris. So, there's this weird thing, kind of like if you saw the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie, where it's kind of like that, where if they get hurt, they sort of shrug it off, like who cares? It's not a big deal. They can get shot, But it is sort of a big deal, right? I mean, his hand has to get sewn back up when it got slammed in the car, and
right.
Yeah, I was thinking that during the whole cemetery scene. I mean, he gets his eye gouged out with a corkscrew and opener, and the whole.
And he's like,
And
"Oh,
he
look
did-
what you did to my shirt," which is
Yeah,
what Pee Wee Herman said in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, and it's like he doesn't seem to care, but it's like, is that gonna heal or
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish that scene was played a little. Well, we'll talk about that when
Yeah.
we see it. But I wish it was played a little more seriously
Yeah.
because it would have made the scene more intimidating, more powerful, and it would affect me more than just trying to diffuse it with jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah. She's like, "Oh no, this is a bad thing," and it's like, but nobody cared at the time.
So makeup for this movie was made by very talented people. Some of them were related to Nightbreed. In this case, Tony Gardner, I think he was. He worked for Nightbreed,
Oh,
and here
wow.
he did. He designed and sculpted some of the makeup, I think.
for Image Animation.
No, I don't think he was always a part of Image Animation.
Well, I mean,
So it says here.
right?
Yeah. He worked with the team. So makeup department here was David P. Barton, special makeup and animatronic effects. John Blake was a makeup artist. Tony Gardner was the creature effects supervisor and special makeup designer. And then you had more people here, like let's see, prosthetic designer and sculptor was Mike Smithson, and there's a few other people here in line. So
Yeah. And when she keeps talking about how she's starving, and like you'd said earlier, it's like, why doesn't she just go get her own?
Yeah.
right, it doesn't really explain if it had to be a.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Rob. What?
That's not how the process works.
Yeah, that's
Why-
not how.
but when he's dying, then she does go after Tanya herself.
Yeah, for half the
to him, though.
movie. Yeah, but for half the movie, I didn't think she could leave the house for some reason. I
Yeah,
thought
right.
because you never
Yeah,
see her leave until
Yeah.
the end.
Yeah.
Well, she's very female. She's very femme, so she wears all that lingerie and stuff. So I guess she is not that keen on seducing young women. So I'm gonna go with that,
So she just seduces her son every day instead.
Yeah. Right.
which is still kind of weird. But yeah. Hey guys, stop planting catnip in your backyard, and your cats will go away.
I know.
right.
Yeah, watching this movie as a cat lover is both just an awesome dream and a nightmare because I
Yeah.
love seeing all the cats do these cute heroic things, but at the same time they're also getting murdered
Yeah.
viciously.
horrible.
So
And I know how
Right.
bad that yard would smell after a while.
that's true.
Because I've actually lived close to a house that had a yard like that, and it smelled like cat piss all the time.
Mm,
Yeah.
That unknown ammonia smell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do they have? Some kind of bed? They have some kind of light under it?
It's
That's
like
supposed
it's
to be
that
magic.
yeah.
And
It's the
apparently
magic.
the mirror takes their clothes away. There's a scene later on where they're wearing clothes, but in the mirror they don't.
That-
Oh
that-
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
another thing I was wondering is if that's how they appear in the mirror, why would they hang mirrors in their house? Why not just
Yeah.
stick them
Yeah,
down?
yeah, you would think they would not have any
Yeah.
because
Like you don't go,
Marcus, you're always asking the right questions.
but like you don't go to like Dracula's castle and there's just mirrors everywhere. Like
that's a good point.
Which is a little tropey because it's not the first time that we see something like that where the mirror kind of reveals the true form of the monster. So we've seen
Yeah.
that in other
And
things.
she invites her in. It's not like they're like, oh crap, we got mirrors. Maybe we better not let her in here.
I read something on IMDb that one of like the mistakes in the film was when she's looking at him through her camera lens, that
Mhm.
because in a camera it bounces off a mirror and then goes to your eye,
Yeah.
that she would have seen his true form through the actual camera. But
I was
right,
wondering
right.
that too. Actually, at the time, I was thinking, wouldn't she through the camera? Wouldn't she look this?
yeah,
That's an excellent point.
Yeah.
And when she
Well,
gets
he doesn't show up like that in the mirror, right? Only his mother did, I think.
Yeah.
When they were making love, it looks like he's still Charles Brady, and she's the one that shows up as. I didn't see that. I would have to check again.
Oh, I think it was both of them.
yeah, it was both of them.
Right, right. That line has a completely different meaning in this context.
What line was that?
I love you, Mom.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
So did you guys think watching this like that she's inviting her in just so she can murder her early instead of waiting around for the date to happen?
Yeah, I didn't get why she just doesn't do it then, but I guess that
Yeah.
doesn't serve the purpose of the
She's
movie.
messing with Charles.
Yeah, maybe. Because then later on, she's like, okay, you guys go have fun or whatever. And it's like, well, wait, I thought you invited her in purposely because you were tired of him playing around with her and you just wanted to kill her now.
Well, I got two ideas about this scene, why she invites her in. The first one is that she's the mom, so she wants to know if the girl is a nice girl.
Yeah.
That's what she always asks. I guess so she could sniff her virginity and make sure.
Yeah.
And the other one is that she offers her a flower. And if you remember in the first sequence, when Mark Hamill is checking the house and he opens up and the corpse comes out, it was a corpse of
Wow,
a
yeah.
young girl that has a rose on her hair.
Yeah.
So maybe
Oh,
it's kind of
wow.
like a ritual thing they do.
Okay. Nice catch.
Yeah, I mean it's I noticed that too about the rose, but it's like it only happens one other time, so they don't really do it enough to establish a pattern like a serial killer kind of a thing.
Yeah, but in a movie, if someone does it twice, then that's
Yeah,
it. That's the
right.
pattern right there.
Right, but I mean just for the purpose of people catching on, it's like it's pretty short,
Right,
you know.
right. Hey, you guys remember the other Mick Garris movie, Quicksilver Highway, where
Yeah.
Yes.
they
Yeah.
adapted the body politic?
Mhm.
I remember this reminds me of the last scene in the body politic story segment when the woman gets off of bed and gets a big scissors and she cuts off her own nose
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
right as it cuts to black.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that kind of reminded me of that.
Also, the scene with all the cats running through the streets, like forming an army, it reminded me of all the hands running down the street.
Oh yeah, free.
Yeah. But there is a the way he shoots is really you can tell a Mick Garris movie.
Yeah.
Everything's kind of close in and looks a little bit TV like.
Mhm.
Yeah, he went on to direct mostly TV. Most of his stuff feels very TV.
Yeah.
So when she says "sweets to the sweet," there, when she gave her the
Yes.
flower,
Yeah. Right.
I know people are going to be like, "Oh, that's from Candyman," but nope. That's when you go back to Shakespeare,
Yeah,
when Hamlet's
Shakespeare.
mother, the queen, delivers sweets to the sweet, she's she's not giving her a candy or anything. The Queen's sweets are actually funeral bouquets scattered in the grave of Ophelia.
And
Hamlet's
Candyman
former
was
flame.
really close to this movie. I mean, because that was Candyman was like 91 or 92 also.
Same year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And speaking of Candyman, I mean, Mick Garris went on to direct from a Clive Barker script, Valerie on the Stairs with Tony Todd.
Yeah. And he Masters of Horror was his. No, it wasn't. He had something to do with Heichel's Tale too, didn't he?
Yeah,
He wrote the script.
he wrote and I don't. Yeah, he didn't direct it though.
Yeah, I think he just
Mick
adapted.
Garris is the one that did the whole Masters.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
his series.
They just did a rubbing joke, and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Her mom's going to want to know that there was some rubbing done here, and she's like, "Me too, Charles.
Yeah.
I'm a genie in a bottle. Got to rub me the right way."
Oh god.
So there's going to be a grave that he's going to be rubbing, and it has a name on it. It says Jenny Hicks. That was an assistant to Mick Garris in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
That's cool.
assistant director. Yeah.
So apparently he's lost his focus, maybe, and that's why this car is morphing back. Is that he stopped concentrating on it?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess he's distracted.
Yeah,
Maybe there's a range to his powers, I think.
yeah.
Could be. But of course, the reason is because the cop's coming by and he's going to find
Yeah.
out. So-
More service to the story.
These songs that he makes up are nuts.
Yeah, they're great. They're awesome. He's a one bald man and he's off to the rodeo.
Yeah, like what?
That's pure Stephen King though.
Yeah.
Stephen King,
Yeah.
write that kind of stuff.
Yep.
There's Jenny Hicks.
God, he looks so preppy. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah, he really
Yeah.
does.
Well,
Totally preppy. Pastels and
Yeah.
sweaters and shirts and
And his,
that was
his,
never
like,
my style at all.
his feathered
Yeah,
hair
not
and
me either.
yeah.
Yeah.
White socks and white sneakers.
Yeah.
Even then, I was dressing like in black and stuff.
I'm
it's
not gonna
never-
lie. If somebody knocked my
Capitalized.
camera down like that, I would not be romantic about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Back then, I was wearing trench coats and heavy metal shirts, and I had long hair.
Yeah, I've seen.
I
that.
had
hair
an
too.
Australian duster.
Oh, nice.
What is that?
It's like a trench coat that's split down the back. Kinda
Oh,
like it-
okay.
Yeah. That was that was until like Columbine, and I stopped wearing that after that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. Yeah. That was not a good thing. That Columbine was to trench coats what Hitler
Yeah.
was to that mustache.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. I mean, kids were getting suspended and expelled just on suspicion after that,
Yeah.
based on how they looked, and if they if somebody would grumble like "I'll kill you," it was like, "Oh right, that's it. You're suspended or expelled."
Well, even like music took a hit too.
Especially metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Marilyn
like
Manson.
Rammstein. I mean, that's my favorite band, and after Columbine, they took a
Oh,
hit
yeah.
for it.
Right,
they
right,
did.
right.
Yeah, and video games, and
Yeah.
that's coming up again too.
Oh, yeah.
deflecting
Yeah.
into video games.
And action movies and whatnot.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It's like if these people knew they were agreeing with Tipper Gore, they probably wouldn't say that stuff.
Right. She was the one who made it so that CDs now have the explicit lyrics
Yeah,
label,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So this scene goes from like not 0 to 100, but like 50 to 100 pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I think it elevates the cheese factor. Yeah, like just
Yeah.
significantly.
Definitely does.
Well, and if he's supposed to be feeding his mother, does he like eat all of her essence or whatever, and then he gives it to her like a bird?
Mm.
Yeah, just regurgitates it back to her. I guess.
Probably, yeah. So it's funny because this whole thing about cats taking babies' breaths, that comes. I looked it up. In 1791, a jury at a coroner's inquest in England rendered a verdict to the effect that a Plymouth child had met his death by a cat sucking out its breath.
Oh, wow.
It was over 200 years ago, January 25th, 1791, to be exact.
Wow.
It was a
I thought
dark
it
and
was older
stormy.
than that. I guess not.
Yeah, it was a dark and stormy night, and found recorded in the annual register was this entry. A child of 18 months old was found dead near Plymouth, and it appeared on the coroner's inquest that the child died in consequence of a cat sucking its breath, thereby occasioning a strangulation. So, of course, this is not true. It was a coroner with a big imagination, and now we know that there's stuff like SIDS, which is sudden infant death syndrome, stuff like that. But cats just like to go near babies because they're warm, you know. But King used this in another one, like that Tales from the Dark Side segment that King wrote. You know, the one where yeah. So and Cat's Eye, he also gets a cat in there.
Yeah, and Dr. Sleep too. I believe that isn't there a cat in a hospice that?
Oh, that's the sequel to The Shining, right?
Yeah.
I haven't read it.
Yeah, neither have I. But
I've heard they're making a movie now of Dr. Sleep. So The Shining is going to have a sequel.
Yeah.
We'll see who makes it. Oh, right in the eye.
He made this scene so over the top is to take the edge off the kind of the assault aspect of
the rape.
It's kind of a rape kind of like scene.
Yeah. It is a rape scene, yeah.
That's true.
I think maybe that's why it's so over the top and cheesy.
And she's got his eyeball right there on the thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's right there at the end of that corpse.
But he has to get sewn up when he gets cut. So I mean, isn't that bad? I mean, he's lost his eye.
Yeah, you'd think he'd care far more than he does.
And here's another really super crazy song that he just made up.
Come on, you fucking turkey. Get off the stage, you fucking jerky. No, you piss me off. So don't get me wrong. I love this movie. I really do. The tone in that scene, that I think it just should have been a little more threatening than cracking jokes.
Yeah,
you know?
I think that the sheriff and the cat sheriff deputy just make the movie.
Yeah.
Which is why the scene coming up really, really hurts, in my opinion.
Yeah. This
gets murdered really brutally.
Yeah, it really bugged me because I love his character.
And he spends so much time with his back to where they know that the bad guy is coming from.
It's a very effective jump scare, though, in my opinion.
And this scene years later would influence Christopher Nolan in The Dark Knight. Hey, you want to see a magic trick?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Cock kebab.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible. I'm gonna blame that one on King because holy crap, dude. The cop kebab is just not a good line.
It's like, well, what would Arnold Schwarzenegger say right now?
And after that, he's still alive. He's got a pencil like right in his cerebellum.
Yeah.
I didn't mind that because I didn't want him to die yet.
Yeah.
I was like, that's fine.
Yeah, and this part, it's like you said, Ryan. It's like he's gonna die from these injuries, but right now, I don't know if it's the adrenaline rush or if it's like just for the sake of the scene or whatever.
He's laughing and cracking jokes and.
Right. I got a feeling that it's more like what the cat does to him that poisons him.
I think so too, but of course
he starts to smoke. I mean,
but fire doesn't come out of his wounds. Maybe that only happens when they're gonna die. I don't know.
It was Clovis the Attack Cat, earning his pay.
Yeah,
justifying his name.
Now that it's in high definition and you look at that cat, it's like, oh my god. It's obviously a puppet.
It's very reminiscent of
kind of reminds me of that scene from Ed Wood where Bela Lugosi's
fights the octopus.
Yeah, he's doing the octopus.
Yeah.
So what were you saying, Marcus? This was reminiscent of what?
Oh, Reanimator with Jeffrey Combs and the black cat after he revives it, and it's just like you can totally tell that it's just a doll, but
I haven't seen that movie.
Oh,
never
I've
seen
seen it so
Reanimator?
many
Oh,
times.
yeah.
You got to see that. See all three of them if you can, because
Yeah.
the third one's crazy. That's
Oh,
just
I
so
have
amazing.
a fear of needles, and the box of the movie had this guy with a gigantic needle on it. Like, nope, I'm not
Oh,
watching
yeah.
that.
Yep, that's true. There's a lot of injections. Oh, poor Clovis.
Yeah.
All right. My owner's dead. Time to eat his face.
Yeah, right.
So what is she cooking here? Is this chicken with peaches? Is that a
Yeah,
good
it's
thing?
Weird.
Cooking
Yeah, they
like
talk about like she's like I'm starving, Charles, but she's always making food.
Right.
Yeah.
What do they eat? What do they need to eat for it? I mean, they have two different kinds of things that they have to eat.
Well, yeah, I guess, I mean, I forgot.
the life source of the sleepwalker obviously is what keeps them alive. The virginal.
Yeah.
life
Yeah.
source. And
One
maybe-
feeds the stomach, the other feeds the soul, Ryan.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, ugh,
It's really
I'm a
messed up.
mess. Yeah.
Yeah, now he's upset over his wounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that he's back home to mommy.
Yeah.
He's still smoking a little bit.
Yeah. And
Yeah, he is.
He's like, I came home so you could slap me in the face some more.
Yeah.
He's got cat scratch fever.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all have read the Dark Tower books, but always that shot reminded me of the there's a book called The Glasses.
Oh yeah. It's the cover of the book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
know what you're
haven't
talking
gotten
about.
that far. I think I've read like the first three of them.
Yeah, I think that's the fourth
The
book.
fourth one. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the fourth
Yeah.
book.
I'm a noob when it comes to Stephen King. I haven't read a book by him at all. I just seen all the movies that he's
Oh, yeah.
been involved with. Yeah.
For me, his books are either really good or they're really bad.
Mm.
Just hits or misses for me personally.
His older stuff is probably the best, and then when he got in the '90s, it was really kind of like getting really bad. But now he's kind of coming back up again.
I think it's funny that there's a library of sounds that gets used in movies, especially in the 90s, and one of them is like cat noises. They're
Yeah.
always the same. Like they're always the same
Yeah.
cat meow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always the same like kind of noise with like the guns or the door opening and stuff
It's
like
like
that.
the same scream from what is that?
Yeah.
That scream you always hear in
Wilhelm
movies.
scream.
You
Yeah.
always hear that.
There's the Howie scream and there's the Wilhelm scream.
Right.
There's a bunch
Yeah.
of those.
Yeah. Yeah, the Wilhelm scream, now that everybody knows about it, it's like they do it, movies do it purposely because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think J.J. Abrams even put it in The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
very prominent.
You have to have
Yeah.
it in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Toby Hooper.
Toby Hooper.
Yeah.
And here's Stephen King
Right,
saying,
right.
I ain't taking the rap on this. Buddy, you wrote it.
Yes. Yeah, you right. This scene is, I mean, this was the only thing I used to like about this movie because, here's Clive Barker.
Yeah, and it's also like one shot, the one take.
This is the skinny Barker, right? In the
Yeah.
90s, before he kind of bulked
Yeah.
up a bit and
Yeah,
got
yeah.
all muscly. It's like, Yeah.
But this
But
is
being
this is super long. This scene, it's like, it's really just kind of shoved in there, or shoehorned, I guess.
Oh, I love it though. I mean, as a
Yeah.
horror fan, I mean, seeing all my
Yeah.
personal idols in one scene
Yeah.
is awesome.
Toby Hooper, of course, directed Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and
Salem
Poltergeist.
Slot.
it's the one horror movie that really, really scared me. I think that movie really, really scared me.
Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah.
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 No, that's.
I saw it even as an adult, and I was like, it was too much for me. I got up twice to get out of the theater, and I was like, no,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit down.
Out
And
of,
then I
out
got
of-
up again, and I'm like, okay, I'll sit down a little
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. Out of all
It was
the,
too much.
Out of all the cinema villains, Leatherface is definitely the most horrifying.
Oh yeah, the whole family.
Yeah.
The Gunnar Hansen portrayal, especially.
Hit her in the head, Grandpa. That whole sequence is one of the moments I was like, I gotta get out of here.
I haven't.
And then
seen
I just
any of
sat
those
down
either.
again. Oh wow, you should see that one in 2. That's crazy.
This actor right here, actually, he played in Christine. He was one of Buddy Repperton's little buddy, like little pals, little
Oh.
goons. guy's taking the picture.
Mhm.
Okay.
He was in Friday 13th Part 2.
Oh,
He
Oh,
the
was
one
he?
that- yeah, he was the one that only survived. He was drunk, so they told him to stay behind,
Okay.
and he survived because of that.
It's like, hey, I survived because I was drunk. I'm never gonna give up drinking.
and here he's like, okay, we're gonna put you in the hands of our most completely incompetent policeman.
Yeah.
Is that the guy that gets the? That's the cop that's just eating their food at the house, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
and he,
Yeah,
shoot-
there's one
he
on the
shoots
cob.
he shoots the vase like 3 times.
Yeah, he's like the worst shot.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
the
vase
Barney
is broken,
Five,
and
the
then
token
next
Barney
scene is-
5 shot.
Then
Yeah.
the next scene, the vase is still there, and it's like,
Yeah.
He shoots it again.
well, at least we know Clovis got adopted, so he's not going to be
Yeah.
like sent to a shelter.
Clovis is about to get revenge.
Yeah. This is a weird bit of expositionary dialogue
Yeah,
that we don't really need because we know what happened. We saw it. So
yeah.
anyway, chalk it up to Stephen King again because
Yeah.
I really like the directing of Mick Garris. I just wish that the script had a few things here and there that were a little different. But
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite movies for sure. This one, it's
Well,
still
what-
good.
Was this Stephen King's first script?
Yeah,
That he wrote?
original script
Okay.
based
Yeah.
from obviously based off a short story he had never written.
Yeah, unpublished. Yeah.
So
But I
he-
mean, I oh, go ahead, Ryan.
Oh, didn't he? He did. He adapted some of his short stories before.
Yeah, and novels too.
Oh yeah, this is not the first movie
Script
based
he's
on a
ever
Stephen
written.
King.
Okay.
I don't know about that, but I know that for sure there were a bunch of movies done like Creepshow, Cat's Eye, Silver Bullet was adapted, Maximum Overdrive, Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, Pets.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if this was the first script that King actually wrote himself.
That was it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Jeez,
So that she-
Maximum Overdrive. Holy crap! What a terrible movie.
Yeah, he admits that he was so coked out of his mind he doesn't remember making.
I think I'm Facebook friends with the guy that owns the truck from
Oh,
Maximum
man.
Overdrive. Yeah.
Wow, with that goblin face on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think he takes it in shows and stuff.
That's cool.
That's another thing that happens in movies is like when someone says, "Here, have some water, and make you feel better." It never makes them feel better.
No.
They always gag on the water,
Yeah.
right? It's like, "Oh, okay, I'll have some water." Always, every time.
Yeah.
If it's alcohol or bourbon, they're fine.
It's also really weird in this scene, or here that she won't admit to herself that he's dying, and she says he's not dead, he's sleeping, but she animates his corpse and makes him
it's terrible.
dance.
Yeah, that was like really like Weekend at Bernie's type.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was
Yeah,
weird.
the way is, yeah, that's true.
Or that scene in the Dream Warriors when Freddy's like making the guy walk.
Oh,
with
yeah.
his tendons. I love that scene.
That's one of the hardest scenes for me to watch. Is just the way the tendons are,
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
pop out, and how he's moving with them.
This movie has really good special effects for the time. I
Yeah.
like the optical effects that they do.
Yeah.
They're not dated either.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah, I mean, it's still mostly practical stuff. There's only just a tiny bit of CGI.
Yeah.
Ron Perlman,
Yeah.
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 Looking really young.
ass cop.
Yeah.
Yep. Officer Hardass. Am I the only one who thinks that was way too easy, the way that middle-aged sheriff just knocks down the front door by himself?
Right.
I would expect Ron Perlman to do that, but
Yeah.
damn, they were putting out bear traps for those cats.
Yeah.
And it's weird. Why does Ron? I mean, this is a cop we haven't even seen before, and now all of a sudden he acts like he's
Taking
in
up
charge
all
of
the-
everybody.
Yeah, I know.
If you're not following Ron Perlman on Twitter, I really recommend you follow
Yes,
him. He's
yes.
at Pearl Mutations.
Okay.
I love this guy on Twitter. He's amazing.
Yeah. When I'm feeling down, I just go to his feed and it makes me feel better.
And at this point, I think people only knew him from Beauty and the Beast, right? The TV show.
Yes.
Which I really love that show. It's
Yeah, I
one of
do
my
too.
favorite shows. I still have it on DVD. Some people think, it's kind of like a little, dated. It's like, I still like it. It was like Nightbreed before Nightbreed, okay? It was like the Morlocks living under
I
New York
watched it.
City.
I only watched it on TV when it aired. I haven't seen it again since then.
Yeah.
That's like the way he's walking around holding that gun. Just
Yeah.
kind of just reminds me of like just stupid cops. Just the way they hold their guns and
I wonder,
those old
I wonder if
films.
he's supposed to be like a county sheriff or something. Like he's a different department than this other
District. Yeah.
He's just so dismissive in this sequence. He's it's a little tropey, but yeah. He's Officer Hardass.
Yeah.
Like, there's a guy that was killed. Obviously, there's a
Yeah, I
killer
mean,
on the
so you
loose.
want to
Yeah,
see
it's
him
like-
die. I mean, when he gets,
Yeah.
he gets it bad too.
Yeah.
Is this guy eating like fried chicken or
Corn.
something? Corn? Yeah.
Yeah, it's corn on the cob.
And he's not using a fork he's eating other stuff and he's not using his fork. He just uses his hands. I wonder
funny,
if
I've
her
never
accidentally almost dropping that corn was a goof. And
Yeah, I
they
was
just-
Probably
wondering that
could've been a
too.
goof.
They just kept
Yeah.
it in because it's kind of real. I mean, they're distracted
Yeah.
because their daughter, got attacked. And
Yeah.
Makes it feel far more natural.
yeah,
And the mom really shows this kind of grief that she kind of mirrors the grief that her daughter's having after being assaulted.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's an enormous bathroom, by the way.
Yes.
I wish I had a tub like that.
yeah.
I know, right?
Well, it's
That
a lot
has
of
to be a
wasted
set.
space, really. I mean, that tub could be a lot bigger with all that space.
That's true.
Yeah. And here comes Freddy's glove right out of the
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's obviously just got to be a nod to Nightmare on Elm Street.
phone. This cattle prod moment here is like that could have been
Yeah.
taken out. But I love the teeth that they put on the monster. That's
Yeah,
really
they
good.
looked
Good
good.
work.
and she's got a little porcelain cat on the mirror there. I didn't notice that before.
Oh, good catch. You might not have seen it, but your brain did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tanya, she's going to be a final girl, and if you don't know what a
Yeah.
final girl is, it's a trope in horror films. She's always the last girl alive that confronts the killer.
Yeah.
Like Kirsty from Hellraiser is a final girl. Joey from Hellraiser 3 is a final girl.
Yeah.
Um,
But
we
even
got
what's better though is we also get a final cat.
yes.
Yeah, and I think it must have started out as a response to the fact that women were always tripping and falling and getting murdered, and
Yeah.
then it's like, okay, let's turn this on its head. But it's been turned around for so long now that it's become a trope.
Yeah.
hmm Like Ripley in Alien.
Right? Yeah.
The girl who escapes Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Nancy in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Well, there's even been I think 2 movies now that have been made that have been called like Final Girl and Final Girls. So
Oh,
Very
geez.
true. Yeah.
I mean,
So they're dead because she hit their heads together.
Blunt force
That's-
trauma, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have done more of maybe a better special effect there to sell that.
Yeah.
Like
And
have
so-
their heads just explode, just brain matter.
Right. That scene is kind of Three Stooges a little
Yeah,
bit.
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Maybe that's the point. I don't know.
I guess they're out getting some Starbucks.
Yeah. So this scene coming up here, does this father really die from getting hit in the head with a vase?
I've always wondered that myself. I guess I really don't know.
Yeah.
Looks like he just gets knocked out.
Yeah, but then, this is weird because he seems like he gets killed, and then the mother gets thrown through the window. Like he's got slashes on his face, and he falls
Yeah.
down, and it's like, okay, I guess he's dead now. And then the mother gets thrown through the window, but she gets up and is like yelling at her daughter, at the
Let's
end,
just say he's out of commission.
but at the
Yeah, I
end,
think-
her daughter is like, "It's just you and me now, Clovis. It's just you and me." It's like, no, I think your parents are still alive.
So do you think she has super strength?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she has to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. She telegraphed that trying to hit her with that stick ripped a little too much.
Oh yeah, yeah.
God.
That's another staple of '90s movies: someone being defenestrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, there goes the vase,
Yeah, and he shot the lamp and the vase in the picture.
and there's the vase again. Yep. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude! You're a trained police
you're a
officer.
cop.
I know.
I mean,
He is the worst.
yeah.
And what
He's
is
still
this?
breathing, I think.
He reminds me of someone out of that the what's the name of the Nightbreed
Yeah.
what's the group of rednecks from that movie
Oh,
called?
the
Oh
Sons
yeah,
of the Free.
Patine,
Yeah.
Sons of the Free.
Yeah.
Patine, or whatever his name was.
There's John Landis and Joe Dante.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Joe Dante's hair is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is.
And Mick Garris' wife is on the phone.
It looks like Joe Dante looks like he should be in All the President's Men or something like that.
Oh, here comes this horrible line.
You don't
This
see
made me-
many.
That made me
gotta-
so mad when I saw this.
Oh,
You got to admit, it's an original death, though. How many movies get to see somebody get killed by an ear corn?
That's because
Yeah,
it would just explode on his back and it wouldn't go into him.
I was wondering
And-
if that's like in any reference to Children of the Corn or anything.
Oh.
Maybe.
oh.
Maybe I'm trying to like stretch things, but I don't know.
And don't forget, it's probably a boiled ear of corn, which would be even
Yeah.
softer.
Yeah, because they've
Right.
been eating it already.
Also, it didn't hit any vital points, really. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, this reminded me of the hands running down the street.
yeah. I mean,
Like-
it reminds me of that video from that Japanese cat island that has like hundreds of cats.
Everything's shot so close up. You know, it makes it feel like it's all like a backlot.
Some cute little
Yeah,
kittens.
yeah, I'm sure that is the Warner Brothers backlot.
After this scene, to get all the cats back, all they had to do was shake a treat bag.
Yeah, I wonder. They must have like 2 or 3 cat wranglers in this.
Yeah.
I know this is a bit off topic, but supposedly Disneyland actually owns just a whole bunch of cats and lets them loose to get rid of the rat problem.
Oh wow.
Oh,
And so that's what that reminds me of is like, oh, is that what Disneyland looks like at night? Just cats just going crazy. And
yeah. Oh my God, dude.
I think the film originally was rated NC-17.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
It was submitted to the ratings board, and I think this scene especially suffered cuts.
Oh. Yeah, I
It's
wonder.
just ridiculous.
Do you think that they had Ron Perlman as a guest star because he played sort of a cat man, you know, on TV?
Oh,
So he was.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
could
He
have been.
Yeah, it could have been.
Good connection there.
so the line "Call Castle Rock" too.
Yes,
the,
right. I saw.
Yeah, so that's
Stephen
another.
King's,
yeah,
Hometown, right?
This
Well, no,
okay?
it's-
Why is it she can explode these cars? You know, with
Kaboom.
one shot with you know.
okay, yeah.
Well-
Castle Rock is an invented town in Maine.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Down at Castle Rock.
So that's King's hometown, right? Castle Rock, Maine.
No, it's invented.
Castle Rock is just an invented town where all
Oh,
these
okay,
stories take
gotcha.
place.
It's
Yeah.
where it's
Oh,
where all
right,
the
right.
terrible stuff happens all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, like that
King is
Innsmouth.
from Bangor, Maine.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So it's an invented place like H.P. Lovecraft and
Yeah,
made up
exactly.
Innsmouth. Yeah.
Or you could even say Midian, right? Because Midian's not-
Right.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or yeah,
I think Sheerneck is made up too.
Yeah.
it's too good a name to be real.
Yeah.
But yeah,
right.
but Dwyer is real.
Yeah, that is real. At one point, my dad worked near Peace River, so
Cool.
yeah. Oh my goodness, look at all those cats. Whenever you use the word cat wrangler, I just imagine a guy with a tiny whip and like a big circle
Yeah.
hula hoop, making cats jump through hoops and stuff.
A little tiny
right.
lasso.
Yeah.
Wonder how long it took to get takes of all those cats hissing and.
Yeah.
Usually to get other, usually cats don't like to be around each other, and that's how usually they get those kind of shots.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's probably what it
Yeah.
is.
Oh
I-
no.
Yeah, I think the hardest part would have been just having all those cats be sitting still in the
Yeah.
yard and
Yeah,
on the roof and
exactly.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Because cats
Just-
don't really like each other.
Just give them all a big can of cat food, and after they're done, they'll just be there.
Yeah.
See, he not only got dead, he got older,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's starting
know.
to age. I mean, he's starting
Yeah.
to age and morph.
right? That's what made me think. I wonder if how old are they as creatures?
Yeah,
He's not
that's
obviously.
true.
Yeah.
He's like the anti-Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
So he's not really a teenage boy, just like
They
you know,
were
the-
they were really too short on the backstory.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
I think it's just part of the weakness of the writing in this movie.
And I wish that Ron Perlman had more of a story arc as a character. He only has like a couple of scenes, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's two.
And his death is kind of silly.
Yeah.
I wanted to see him be more of a badass at the
Yeah.
end. And
Well,
but
I
anyway.
feel that way with most of the genre actors in here. I mean, as a horror fan, this film in particular is awesome because of all the cameos and stuff. And I just wish that they would have been fleshed out more. But
Doesn't that song
It's fun.
get used in other horror movies also sometimes?
I heard it in La Bamba. That's when I first
Yeah.
heard it.
Sounds very Lynchian to have this music play.
yeah,
Yeah.
There's a movie, I forgot which one. I always mix those two up. It's either Sinister or Insidious. That there's like a demon with a red face.
that's
And he-
Insidious.
Yeah,
Insidious, and he's
Yeah.
playing that crazy music with like some
Yes.
like,
Oh, yeah, that's- yeah.
la, 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 la. And it's like that music is so annoying to me.
Yeah.
But somehow they put that in, and I'm like, yeah, I guess if I had to be stuck in hell, that music probably would be on loop.
Oh, I love Insidious. That's one of my favorite horror films.
Yeah.
Is
Like
that
the demon is cool.
Scott Derrickson?
Oh, he did.
No, he
Sinister.
did Sinister.
Yeah,
Oh,
James
okay.
Wan did Insidious.
Okay. Yeah, I liked Insidious.
This is the crazy scene where she's
Yeah.
like animating the body of him.
Right, and she was just saying he's not dead, he's just sleeping. It's like, well,
Yeah.
I think by animating his corpse, I think you're acknowledging that he's dead.
Well, I think she's just in denial. I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, it's like Weekend at Bernie's. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
weird.
Yeah. I mean, if she really believed that he was just hurt, then she wouldn't be doing that to him.
Speaking of Weekend at Bernie's, isn't there a Weekend at Bernie's too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Two of them. Yeah.
My favorite scene in the first one is like, "Hey, Mister, can I bury you?" And it's like, "Cool." That's how it ends.
Oh, God. Yeah, I never saw either of those movies, just the premise alone, but I always wondered how could they do a sequel? It's like, wouldn't he really stink in the second
Yeah,
one?
be a
Did
rotting
you see
corpse.
Clovis, the attack cat, just broke a window
Yeah.
on his own?
Yeah,
Badass cat.
he is. He's the real star of this movie.
Yeah, he is.
No, I don't know if he's dead. I mean,
Well,
doesn't when she poked-
he was dead and now he's not, I guess. It's
Maybe he was unconscious. I
Yeah.
don't know.
But if
Because
he
she's,
dies
goes-
when she starts.
but if
he
she's
pokes his eyes out.
animating him, you'd think that would be really bad for him.
I think she was using her strength to like give him some kind of life force.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
never. It's pretty vague. It's never specified.
Go, Clovis, go! And luckily, Clovis never gets his back broken like all these other cats.
I know.
Yeah, and Tanya took out one of his eyes to Charles, but now she just took the other eye.
Yeah.
He's
Keeps
dead. now.
gouging those eyes.
She's like, "Come on, why are you just standing there? Let's go!" And she's stuck with him holding her.
Wasn't that the same sheriff that busted down the other door like nothing?
No,
or-
I think
Yeah.
it was Ron Perlman that busted down the other door.
No, it was the sheriff. It was the
Oh,
sheriff.
was it?
Yeah, I just
But
made
then
a
he-
commentary
but-
about the middle-aged sheriff knocking down the door.
Yeah, but then he couldn't get that door. How convenient.
So getting hit, poked in the eye can kill you, but getting shot with a shotgun, it just makes you mad.
Well, we went through that.
Yeah.
I think it was the cat that poisons them.
I hate
Seems like-
poison I just
Yeah.
hate seeing all the poor cats. The cat gets shot by a shotgun. It's terrible.
Yeah, that was. I just noticed that for the first time actually.
Does this movie have the ASPCA disclaimer at the end saying no animals were harmed in the making of this movie? I got to pay
Yeah.
attention to that.
Yeah. We'll find out.
A few cats got annoyed, but that was it.
Oh, God. Everybody gets into those bear traps.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
This movie came out for rental in 92, and I looked up magazine Billboard's 1992 top video rentals, listed Sleepwalkers as number 11.
It was pretty much typically 6 months between when a movie would be in the theater and when it would be out on video.
Yeah.
Took forever.
Number 11, Sleepwalkers on the top rental, just above White Men Can't Jump.
She's going to say, "How do you like my fence?"
And this movie made a domestic total gross of $30 million, and the estimated budget was $15 million, which makes it kind of a success, right?
Yeah.
His death scene is probably the best and the dumbest in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Just because-
I wanted a one-liner involving Pickett somehow. Like, "Hey, do you like my fence? I hope you helped me pick it."
Yeah.
Oh.
Just because it's like a dummy and it looks, so
Yeah.
terrible. But it is nice, though, to see cats be the hero. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many movies featuring dogs saving, the day with, like, Lassie and stuff. There's never cats, so...
Yeah, right, because they're harder to train.
Yeah.
Stephen King seems to like to do that with cats because he did the same thing with Cat's Eye and made the cat the hero in that.
Mm.
And there's a burn, which is another staple of 90s
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
Somebody running
Horror
around
movies.
waving their
Yeah,
arms on fire.
Could have been Jason, could have been someone else, could have been the guy with the flamethrower Nightbreed.
Yeah,
There's always a
yeah.
burn. Ah, it's creepy.
Yeah, like she's gonna say, "Okay, I take it back. I'm sorry I killed your son."
It's way past that point.
You make a good point that he was your only son. I'm sorry.
It's not over.
Yeah.
So,
That jump scare did not work on me.
hey, kill the monster
Really
for
don't
you.
ever get
You're
to me.
welcome.
It has to be really jump scares like that don't get to me.
That Clovis basically killed both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She says it's
He's
just
the hero.
It's just
You
you
need
and
final
me now,
cat.
Clovis. I think that her parents are probably still alive.
I'd say so. I know the mother was alive.
Yeah, she got up.
And here's Enya's Bodicea,
Yeah.
chosen for the film only because of all the songs provided to Mick Garris by Sony Music at the time for cross promotion. It was the one song he felt hit the tone of the film.
It is pretty good.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, at least it's not Sleepwalk again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or your favorite band, Enigma.
Oh my goodness, that's bad. Yeah, I didn't like those guys at all. They were a big hit though. Forensic Techs, Clive Barker, Toby
Yeah.
Hooper. There we go. Good old Clive. Boy with earache.
I know earache. Who's the boy with earache?
I don't remember that at all. Maybe it's a
Yeah, I don't
deleted scene.
remember what is earache?
I think it's the kid that the teacher is grabbing by the ear.
Oh, okay.
okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and teachers don't really hit people with rulers, not in public school.
Yeah.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah.
I remember getting paddled.
Yeah, me too.
Though.
I remember getting hit in the hand with a ruler in school in the 80s. But it wasn't that bad. I mean, it wasn't like it was hitting in the knuckles. It was just the open palm. Anyway,
Yeah.
That was Sleepwalkers.
Yeah, I mean, like, the one really cool thing about this film is it did spark a friendship between Mick Garris and Clive Barker that is still, going on today. Any picture you see of Mick Garris, he's always wearing like a Clive Barker T-shirt, and they went on
recently on his postmortem with his latest episode of Postmortem, he was wearing one of those skull T-shirts in the picture with the guest, and I commented on the picture. I said, "Hey, when are you guys? I love the T-shirt. When are you guys going to get Clive?" And he's like, "We're working on it."
Oh, that's
cool.
I saw a picture of when he was entering. I think it was Dario Argento, but he was also wearing a Clive Barker shirt too.
Oh, nice.
And I mean, his Postmortem podcast is really, really good. And to anyone listening, I definitely recommend that highly.
And now that his old podcast company used to make him do commercials for things that were completely unrelated to to horror and stuff, like Carfax and things like that, which you could tell he was kind of struggling with. But now now he's with.
Was that Podcast One?
Yeah, Podcast One. But now he's with a different company. Is it the Blumhouse? I think.
Yeah, it's Blumhouse now.
Yeah, so now they don't make him do that stuff, which is pretty cool.
Didn't Mick Garris, wasn't he going to work on a body book adaptation, or was with Clive?
So which of the stories? Because there's 2 stories in the body book.
The prison one.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Animal action was monitored by the American Humane Association. No animals were harmed in making this film. Scenes depicting violence were simulated.
A few cats got annoyed.
That makes me feel better.
Yeah.
But they were definitely working together on a Mummy script.
Yeah. And they were also developing a TV show as well.
Yes.
So you were talking about In the Flesh, right, Rob?
Yes, In the Flesh is what they were wanting to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we read that one and did an episode about it, I think. Yeah. It was in the body book they had that script.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it David Anderson said when Clive screened this movie for Universal?
Oh, that he.
You had it in your notes.
Yeah. None of his scripts with Mick Garris went any further. I blame Stephen King. Oh, he said, yeah. I don't know. I mean, the writing on this is not great.
I like the movie.
I do too. It's just
it's part of this whole bunch of movies from the 90s, like horror movies that hold a very special place in my heart.
People Under the Stairs is one of those kind of movies that.
Yeah, but again, the fact that not only was it made, but the fact that it was made on such a huge budget is just a miracle.
Right,
Yeah.
$15 million.
What was the budget on this?
$15 million.
Wow.
Which, I mean, like, now if you look at, like, Insidious, for example, that was made for $1 million. So and then you go to Saw, and Saw was just like 300,000 or something. So considering like how much money they put in this movie, it's remarkable.
Insidious was only made for $1 million.
Yeah, I believe it was shot on $1 million, and then it was screened, and I think Jason Blum gave them additional money to go back and refilm the ending to give it a little bit
More of a punch.
more. Yeah.
Okay.
Huh.
Well, that's interesting.
But
So
just
Rupert
go
Raid. I was just going to say that in the trailers from Hell that Mick Garris talks about this movie, he mentions that there was first they hired him to adapt this, and then they hired someone else, and that's the person who you said, Marcus, he wanted to do like a Planet of the Sleepwalkers kind of thing.
Yeah.
That was Rupert Wainwright.
Did Stigmata.
Oh, did he? Okay.
And he directed the Fog remake, which is one of the worst remakes ever.
We don't. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, I'm sorry I brought it up.
Did you guys see a TV series of The Fog? It was on like Amazon Prime, and I watched a few episodes of it, and it's like, this is terrible.
No,
Yeah, I did not see
know
that.
they made a TV series of the Fog.
Yeah, and it was like didn't seem related to the Stephen King story at all. But this fog rolls into town, and everybody's like holed up in the shopping mall, and the fog was like nature attacking people, kind of like in the plague.
Okay. I did not see that.
Yeah, it's bad.
Hey, Rob, I wanted to mention something. I was reading, I found something in Stephen King's biography by Albert Rolls. It says here, a month after Lawnmower Man appeared, Sleepwalkers, a movie for which King had written the script, even before he had been approached by anyone about making a movie, was released. The idea was sparked by seeing Joe, his oldest son, Joe Hill, is a writer in his own right, ask a girl who was working at a concession stand at the local movie theater out on a date. King began to wonder how she could really know if his son, a stranger to her, were safe to be alone with. From there, King developed the story about the incestuous couple, Charles Brady and his mother Mary, who are half reptilian, half feline creatures, perhaps the last of their species, and resemble vampires in that they consume humans' life force to live. So there you go. You mentioned that thing about the girl in the concession.
Inspiration, yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
I didn't know Joe Hill was Stephen King's son. Why is his last name Hill?
Probably
It's
because
a
Stephen King's son.
Nom de plume. That's
Yeah, he didn't want to just be piggybacking off the success of his dad. He wanted to forge his own career.
Right. So it said here that the Sleepwalkers original cut was deemed too violent by the MPAA and scenes had to be removed to get an R rating. The result was a film with which King wasn't entirely satisfied. So, yeah.
Huh. I wonder what
I think the movie's
what they
pretty
took out.
gory.
You would think that they would have made the DVD like a director's cut.
Yeah, you'd
You know.
think.
When did they start releasing really director's cuts though for movies? It was not until DVD really came out. On VHS, you rarely saw them. The only ones I
Yeah.
could think of, unrated versions on VHS are Hellbound.
There was there was an Alien director's cut that was going around on Laserdisc, but it was over $100.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Laserdiscs were very expensive when they came out.
At the Seattle Comic Convention, I saw a guy selling VHS copies of his Laserdisc. He had a whole booth set up just for that.
Huh.
Oh, wow.
He's like, I'm gonna make my money back, damn it.
I remember I got so mad one time. I bought the signature edition of the Jaws Laserdisc for $150. And when Laserdisc started going down and DVDs were coming into the market, I went to see my brother who was living in New Orleans, and he worked at this record store, and it was only selling for $5. I've never been so mad. in my life.
Okay, cool. I'm going to go for brunch, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a walk.
That was a lot of fun,
So-
guys, and thank you for having me on
Yeah.
again.
Well,
You're
and-
welcome.
And Joel has to stay out of here until he goes by Joel now. He won't let us call him Joey.
Oh,
But
Aw.
he can't come into the living room until the movie's over, and he really wants to play Minecraft.
Oh, yeah. All right, I got to feed the cats before they jump on my face and kill me.
Right, and I've got an army of orangutans out in the front yard that I have to deal with.
Hey, don't bring your tenants into this.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess
Yeah.
that's it. That's it, huh? So this
Yeah.
podcast having no beginning will have no end. Find the show notes for this episode and join the discussion over at www.clivebarkercast.com, where we have news and links to all the ways you can connect with us. You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and every other place you can find podcasts. The Clive Barker Podcast is an independent editorial podcast and news blog that is not affiliated with or under contract by Seraphim Inc. This is a labor of love by the fans for the fans.
Thanks for listening.